Have you ever noticed that the loudest person in the room is rarely the most powerful? Think about it. The people who truly get things done, the ones who make quiet moves, they often operate in the shadows, away from the constant chatter and desperate need for attention. In a world obsessed with broadcasting every thought, every meal, every fleeting emotion, there's a profound, almost dangerous power in silence. A power that allows you to observe, to strategize, and ultimately to win. But what does it truly mean to disappear? It's not about becoming invisible or isolating yourself from the world. It's about becoming strategic with your presence. It's about reclaiming your energy, your focus, and your most valuable asset, your time. This isn't just a philosophy. It's a psychological blueprint for success. And today, we're going to dive deep into the silent art of winning. For years, we've been told that to succeed, you need to be seen, to network, to make noise. But what if that's a trap? What if the constant need for validation, for approval, for applause, is actually holding you back from your true potential? The truth is, while others are busy performing for an audience, the silent person is busy building an empire. While others are reacting to every trend, the silent person is shaping the next one. Let's be honest. In this hyper-connected world, everyone is an open book. We share our hopes, our fears, our plans, sometimes even before they've fully formed. And what does this constant exposure do? It leaves us vulnerable. It invites criticism, doubt, and distraction. But when you learn to disappear, to become a ghost in the machine, you gain an almost unfair advantage. You gain clarity, you gain focus, you gain the element of surprise. Consider the human psyche for a moment. We are hardwired to react to what's new, to what's visible. When someone is constantly in your face, constantly demanding attention, their impact eventually fades. It becomes background noise. But when someone steps back, when they become less predictable, their presence, when they choose to reveal it, carries immense weight. It forces people to pay attention. It creates intrigue. It builds respect. The psychology of disappearing is rooted in several core principles. The first is conservation of energy. Think of your attention and emotional energy as a finite resource. When you're constantly engaging in social performances, responding to every notification, arguing on social media, you're depleting that energy. The silent person conserves it. They invest it where it truly matters, in their work, their personal growth, their long-term goals. They understand that their mental bandwidth is too precious to waste on fleeting external demands. Then there's the power of observation. When you're not talking, you're listening. When you're not performing, you're watching. Silent people are often the keenest observers. They pick up on subtle cues, understand underlying motives, and see patterns that others miss because they're too busy being part of the noise. This observational skill gives them an unparalleled insight into situations, people, and opportunities. They understand the game better because they're not just playing it, they're analyzing it from a strategic distance. This leads us to the element of surprise. When you're constantly visible, your moves are predictable. People know what to expect. But when you've been operating in silence, when you re-emerge, your actions carry a disproportionate impact. Think of a chess master. They don't announce every move, they plan several steps ahead in silence, and then execute with devastating precision. The disappearing act is not about hiding, it's about preparing your next, more impactful move without interference. This might sound like a lonely path, and sometimes it can feel that way, but the solitude that comes with strategic disappearance is not loneliness, it's empowered solitude. It's the space where true creation happens. where ideas are refined, where skills are honed, where resilience is built. It's in this quiet space that you confront your weaknesses, leverage your strengths, and forge your identity without the constant pressure of external judgment. The great artists, the groundbreaking scientists, the visionary leaders, many of them embraced long periods of solitude, not because they hated people, but because they loved their purpose more. Consider the impact on your mental clarity. The constant barrage of information, opinions, and distractions in modern life creates what psychologists call cognitive overload. It makes it difficult to think deeply, to focus, to innovate. When you intentionally disappear from this digital and social noise, you give your brain the breathing room it desperately needs. You reduce anxiety, improve decision-making, and unlock higher levels of creativity. Your thoughts become sharper, your intentions clearer, and your actions more precise. Let's also talk about the control narrative. When you're constantly interacting, constantly responding, you're often reacting to someone else's agenda. You're playing on their terms. But when you choose to disappear, you reclaim control. You decide when to engage, when to reveal, when to act. This gives you a powerful psychological advantage. You become the one who sets the terms, rather than constantly adapting to others. This subtly shifts the power dynamic in any relationship or negotiation. You might be thinking, but how do I disappear without seeming rude or aloof? It's not about ghosting your responsibilities or abandoning your loved ones. It's about setting boundaries. It's about saying no to things that don't align with your goals, and yes to the quiet work that truly moves you forward. It's about becoming intentional with your social calendar, choosing quality over quantity, and protecting your inner world. The silent winner also benefits from reduced competition and envy. When you're always showcasing your progress, you invite comparison and sometimes even sabotage. People can track your every move, anticipate your next step, and try to replicate or undermine it. But when your progress is happening behind the scenes, it's harder for others to compete directly, and it avoids triggering their envy until your success is already undeniable. By the time they see what you've built, it's often too late for them to catch up. This strategy also builds mystery and intrigue. Humans are naturally drawn to what they don't fully understand. When you're not oversharing, when you're not constantly seeking attention, you become more enigmatic. People wonder what you're up to, what you're thinking, what your next move will be. This intrigue can be a powerful asset, commanding attention and respect when you finally choose to step into the light. It's the difference between a flash in the pan and a slow, burning star. So how do you practically start disappearing to win? First, audit your attention. Where are you spending your time and mental energy? Cut out the noise. Unfollow accounts that don't add value. Turn off notifications. Second, embrace deep work. Schedule dedicated blocks of time where you are completely unreachable, focused solely on your most important tasks. Third, be selective with your circle. Invest in deep, meaningful connections rather than superficial acquaintances. Surround yourself with people who understand and respect your need for focused solitude. Fourth, let your actions speak louder than your words. Instead of talking about what you're going to do, quietly do it. Let your results be your loudest announcement. The path of the silent winner is not for everyone. It requires discipline, self-awareness, and a strong sense of purpose. It means choosing substance over superficiality, depth over breadth, and long-term vision over instant gratification. It means trusting in your own internal compass, rather than constantly seeking direction from the outside world. In a world that constantly demands your attention, the greatest act of rebellion, and arguably the greatest path to winning, is to intentionally withdraw, to focus, and to build in silence. Your power isn't in how loudly you can shout, but in how profoundly you can think, create, and execute when no one is watching. Remember, the mightiest rivers flow deepest when they are quiet. They carve mountains, nourish lands, and eventually reach the vast ocean, all while making minimal noise. You too have that profound potential. So, step back, observe, strategize, and when the time is right, let your actions, born from the depths of your strategic silence, speak volumes. Embrace the power of disappearing. Because often, the quietest people are the ones who make the most monumental impact. The world will eventually notice, not because you demanded its attention, but because your results made it impossible to ignore.